What is up, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy flippinstoop. I hope you guys are rocking your day out, getting them items listed, packaged, all the good shit, right? Well, the whole reason I started making content, we started a group, a few years back. That group went for 2 years, and then it got canceled because of cancel culture. I said some shit about COVID that apparently was invalid to whose perspective, whatever. And then I started this group, right? So it's going into 3 years I've been making content about eBay. And the sole reason I started making eBay content from the beginning of the new store was to let others know, right, that the old, you gotta go to college, you gotta go, you gotta get, A's throughout high school, and then you gotta go become a nurse or a fucking counselor or a freaking lawyer or a doctor or all this other shit, right? I wanted to prove that you didn't have to do that to make a living, right? Mainly to myself. But I wanted to show other people, because all my life they're like, oh, you're not going to college, you're going to be a loser. Oh, you're not going to get a trade, you're going to be a loser. And maybe in the 80s and 90s you would have been, right? The internet wasn't that great in the 90s. The internet wasn't that, I don't even know if it existed in the 80s, not the way it does today. All right? So that was my whole thing. So I can validate that I proved that to be true. You can work straight out of your own home and make 6 figures a year if you're willing to put in the work, right? I want to get to $1 million in a year in sales. So that means I got to work like I'm trying to get to $10 million a year. They always say shoot over the moon, right? But I also want people to understand that I'm not trying to get recognition from anybody fucking out. My whole motivation is to show that a 25-year fucking loser, dope fiend, drug addict, alcoholic that's been to prison for almost 10 years of his life can make a full-time living, going to a thrift store, going to a garage sale, doing estate sales, things of this nature, and bringing it home, prepping it, listing it, shipping it, doing customer service, all solo by myself, can do that and make a full-time living. Then the whole reasoning for that was, if you dislike what you're doing for a living, right? Even if you dislike reselling, at least you can get paid what you're worth reselling. You can get paid your value when it comes to reselling. So that's been my whole thing about the video content. It's just to show other people what is possible outside of this bullshit 80s, 90s era of you gotta go get a doctoral degree to become something. No, you fucking don't, man. I thought that for the longest time. I've always thought that. Like, even when I was going through high school, I'm like, this is bullshit. That's why I didn't apply myself. Could I have got a 4.0 throughout school if I applied myself? I can guarantee I could have, right? But I didn't see it of any value. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was a young punk. But I'm like, what am I going to do with this in the world to make me income, right? How is that going to provide for my family, right? I just didn't understand. And then when it came to college, I went in an advisor counselor, or whatever you call them, career counselor, says, hey, I think you'd be good in this trade. Fuck you in your fucking thoughts, right? I always thought that. But anyways, that's the whole reason I started making content. Vic, what's up? Is to just show that it's possible to work for yourself and not have to go to work for a job you can't stand, for one. And get underpaid and be undervalued for 2, right? It is possible. If a drug addict, thanks, brother. If a drug addict, alcoholic for 25 fucking years can do this shit, then that means any motherfucker out there that can fucking walk into a thrift store, roll themselves in a wheelchair. I just watched a guy on YouTube, which I thought was the coolest fucking thing. I used this actually a while ago in one of my videos, but this dude crushing it, dude, showing how he's doing $10,000 a month on eBay, and he's in a wheelchair. So us that can get up and walk and physically move around and can't get to that, what the fuck excuse do we have not to be able to get to that, right? I use my neighbor, for example. He's diabetic bad, and he's lost limbs. Both of his legs are gone. up to, I believe, above his knee. And this motherfucker is still farming 30 acres day in and day out every single year. This motherfucking man is up before me in the morning because I can see him right through the woods. He is up before me. He's probably 76 years old. He's up before me. He's out in his field, hand watering his fucking field, his gardens. He's got gardens too, right? He crawls up on a fucking tractor. He plows the fuck... Dude, from the... Before the sun comes up till after the sun goes down, this fucking man is going at it, right? It just... I use him for a lot of motivation and encouragement. I'm like, hey, just because you want to be lazy today, Justin, fucking Carl's out there fucking getting it in them fucking fields, and he ain't got no legs. I have literally had to stop my vehicle because me and my fiance go over there and help him sometimes. I have literally had to stop my vehicle on the side of the road and go out and help him up because one of his prosthetics fell off. Right? That dude's got every excuse in the world to say, fuck it, I'm done. And he won't do it. And that's probably why he's still living. That's probably why he's still going. But I use stuff like that. The guy I seen on YouTube in a wheelchair that's doing, which kudos to that dude, man. If you ever see my content, rock on to you, dude. I love what you're doing. But for him to be able to rock out $10,000 in a wheelchair, doing it all himself, dude, fuck yeah to that dude, man. Fuck yeah to my neighbor that has prosthetics, and all odds are against him in life to make a full-time earning. But he goes for it, and he makes it happen. A fucker's farmer, I think it's 35 or 40 acres, right? Now, you might that might not be a huge farm for you, but if you didn't, because there's company, or there's people that own 150 and 200 acres out here around me, and more, right? But just imagine you not having legs, right? And he hires young kids, and they take advantage of them. They get over on them. They get mad at him, smash the mailbox. He's got a strawberry farm too, where he provides strawberries to the farmers markets and all. It's fucking rad, man. To look at a man that he worked all his life too. He drove a semi truck. He drove for I forget the gas company, but it was a certain type of gas. He transported all over the United States, right? He did that for 40 years and farmed on top of that, then retired, and he's been farming the past 26 fucking years with prosthetics, man. It's unfucking real what this man was doing. I put myself in that position. Would I get up every morning with no legs and do what I'm doing today if I had prosthetics? I don't know, man. That might give me the excuse to just say, fuck it, life sucks, blah, 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 it's over, right? But he don't give up, man. So I look at stuff like that. Man. If a man with no legs can go out there and farm 40 fucking acres, he's kind of difficult to work for, right? This is why I believe a lot of the people that come over there quit, because he's trying to pay 80s wages, right? He's trying to pay a 16-year-old kid, $4 an hour to work for him. And nobody's going to do that for fucking 10 hours a day when you can go to McDonald's and make $12 to $13 an hour, right? Nobody's going to do that. But the motherfucker, I don't know, something about him inspires me. It actually almost drives me nuts sometimes. I'll wake up, I'm like, I beat him up, I got my coffee, I'm sitting up, and here this motherfucker comes up on his fucking tractor, and I'm thinking, fuck you, dude. I can't beat you, bro. And he's got pride. I give the man a lot of credit, right? And this is the whole reason I started making content, is because I handicapped my own fucking life. Let me tell you how I handicapped my own life. I chose to be a loser for many fucking years of my life. I chose the party lifestyle, the cool, to go chase the girls, to go to the club, to do this and do that, and fucking snort this up my nose, and eat some mushrooms, and everything other fucking stupid thing I put into my system, right? I chose to do that for like 20, 25 years. Of course, did I have some clean times in between? Yes, I did. But I chose the easy route out, right? Now, some people say that might not be easy, being a fucking junkie or a drug addict, but it was by choice. It was by choice. My parents weren't pumping cocaine into my system when I was growing up. Matter of fact, my dad was the type, he'd go to the shop, he'd come home, and he might have a beer after work, and then he went to bed, right? He wouldn't wake up drinking beer and go to bed drinking beer, right? He didn't do that. He had his priorities in order, right? But I chose the easy route. I'm going to go party. I'm going to go chase all the women. I'm going to go get in fights. I'm going to go do absolutely everything I ever wanted to do. All I did was handicap myself. I always say this to my fiance. I'm like, babe, I wish I had the mindset I had today in my 20s because we'd already be millionaires. We'd already been millionaires, but I didn't have that mindset. Like, I didn't believe in myself whatsoever. All I believed that was what was important was being around my buddies, being at the club, sitting in the bar after I worked 40 hours and spending my entire fucking check Friday and Saturday and then going to work Monday pissed off because I'm fucking broke because I spent my money on dumb shit, hung out with people that weren't going nowhere or choosing not to go anywhere. And I'm not telling you if you sit in a bar, you're not going nowhere, right? I know plenty of people that enjoy beer and they smoke green and they do fucking great in life, right? But for me, that don't work because here's my thing. This is my thing. If I get my energy going towards something, I'm fucking all in. There is no, if I haven't drank a beer in probably 3 years, maybe 4 years, if I decided, hey babe, you know what, we've been doing real good, we're going to go up to the store and we're going to grab a 6-pack, right? And we're going to have a couple beers tonight. Would that kill me? No. But I wouldn't stop at 6, man. I'd get that feeling, that good feeling, and I would just be off to the motherfucking races, and I would keep going. Why do I know that? Because I tried giving myself excuses for 20, 25 years, right? I would be like, well, this person down the road, they have a martini every night, and they can manage life, and they can go to their job, but I couldn't do that. Because I go all in. I'm an all or nothing person, right? If I have no interest in it, I don't want no interest in it, and I'm going to choose not to have any interest in it. If I like it, we'll use cocaine, for example, right? First time I got introduced to cocaine, I was about 16 years old, 15, 16, maybe 17. From a kid I was going to school with, and blah, 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 blah. But no names necessary, no whatever, right? But I did that shit one time. It made me feel so good. And listen, I am not encouraging anybody to go up there and shove powder up their fucking nose, okay? But it was something I went all in on. I went so all in on it, it destroyed my life for 20 fucking years, right? So that's why I decided years ago that, hey, babe, I don't know what it is in entrepreneurship I even want to get into. I have no fucking clue. Shortly after that, I watched a video with Rally Roots, and the journey started of reselling, right? Everything I do, I go all in on. And I look at the man next door with the prosthetics, and I believe he has the same thought process. He's like, nothing is going to stop me from farming my motherfucking field. Nothing's going to stop. He might fall, babe. Oh my God, I said babe thinking I was talking to my fiance, but I've had to say, hey babe, I got to go next door real quick because I just watched Carl fall and I'm not going to let him lay in the fucking field, right? I drop everything I'm doing. I'm running over there helping the guy. And we bump heads at times, right? Yeah, you ever have a neighbor you bump heads, but you'll do things for, right? Have anybody ever else had them? Well, we bumped heads with property lines before and things like that. But still, I see a man fall, I'm going to help him up. But it gives me, that gives us no excuse, at least me, no excuse to give up. No excuse. This man's in a wheelchair, like, how I made $10,000 in 1 month on eBay. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yes, dude. That psychs me up so much because it just reinsures the whole reason I started making this content. Is the old you got to go punch in and punch out to take care of your family is a crock of fucking shit. And I'm not telling you to walk off your 9 to 5, and I'm not telling you your job is a crock of shit. I'm not saying that whatsoever. All I'm trying to say is that's not the only fucking way. It's not the only way anymore. There's way too many ways to fucking make money. Way too many. Me and my fiance actually just started tinkering around with an idea. I was actually talking about it a while back ago because I noticed the industry. I read certain things on the internet. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about businesses growing and things of that nature, right? And this industry is a $7 billion industry. Well, actually, eBay sells a pretty equivalent to that per year as well. But this industry is completely different, and then my fiance loves to bake, so we started playing around with dog treats, right? We started playing around making homemade dog treats. Who knows where it would go, right? I'm not telling any future plans or ideas or what's going on with that. But all we're doing is experimenting right now. But I don't know. I've always been that way. Regardless if it's good or bad for me, I'm all in. So being an all or nothing person is difficult because people don't understand you. right? I'm not sitting up here trying to fucking boo hoo hoo hoo. People don't understand me, but they don't, man. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Well, dude, what? You do that shit 7 days a fucking week. You're down there for 6 to 8 hours a fucking day. Then you're outsourcing, and the drive that pushes me to keep doing that is one, yeah, to be able to support my family, of course, right? That's inevitable. That's everybody's why. Everybody's why somewhere's got to be to support your fucking family, right? Because that's just what men and women do. They support their fucking family, right? That, or at least they should be. And if not, you shouldn't have had a kid. But besides the point. So that why is always there, right? Everybody. Vic, if I asked you, hey, what's your top 5 whys, why you started reselling, or why you work for your company, you're going to be like, so I can put food in my wife and my kids' fucking bellies, right? Of course, right? Everybody's got that why. But, here's one of my main whys is, I just said I'm an all or nothing person. So I decided to go all in on this because I've learned throughout my 20-some years of fucking up my life that if I do nothing, it gets real ugly for me. It gets really bad. I start going in the gutter. I want to lighten up my depression, so I go start drinking or whatever, right? So if I'm not doing something that I feel like I'm making progress, I will revert back into the old me, right? Which is another reason why I just picked something. Is selling women's clothes my passion? The fuck no, man. I do like selling unique women's sweaters for summer. I don't know what it is. Like, I like it. I see a woman out in public that's got a pretty rad fucking, multicolored fucking vintage shirt or something. I'm like, sweet. That's badass. But I don't like wake up thinking about women's sweaters. I don't wake up thinking about women's t-shirts. I just don't do that, right? I don't have a desire for it. As a matter of fact, I have more of a desire for weight training, making video content, than I do for selling women's clothing. And the video content thing, it has nothing to do with me wanting recognition, again, from anybody. I've done this all my life before video content even existed. I for all my life, I always did more for others than I did for myself. I don't advise that. I'm not saying that's a smart thing to do, because you got to have room for yourself, right? But I've always liked helping people that needed help, right? It made me feel good. Hey, bro, can you come over here and help me shovel my driveway? Boom, I'm on the way. I go do it, right? Hey, mama asked me if I can do a favor. Dad asked me if I can do a favor, right? Sister or buddy or fiance. And I get a good feeling after I do that. So I've always enjoyed doing things for others, which is why I started making video content, because I feel like I can reach a broader band of people. And one thing maybe I can say could trigger somebody's doubts at that moment, right? I'm not the greatest content creator. Look at my YouTube channel. It's sucking. I'm just being honest with you. There's 57 fucking subscribers on there. This one's only got 13 people in the fucking group, right? But there's something that I could say at one time that I know deep down inside that could impact somebody, because it was just something somebody said one time on YouTube that turned me from a drug addict and an alcoholic to straight. It was no groups I was going to. I've went to in my region. I've probably graduated from every single inpatient, outpatient group that they have 10 times over the course of 25 years, right? None of them made me stop using drugs or alcohol or even wanted to, right? None of them wanted me to. I had to get so sick and tired of where I was at with my life. And I say that a lot with eBay. If you get to a plateau spot in eBay, you must almost indulge into that area for long enough to where you're so tired of them results that it pushes you to fucking go harder. Right? You like in life, like you'll notice people, they say you got to hit rock bottom in addiction, right, to stop. That's really true. You really do. You got to get so tired of the results you're getting that you're willing to do anything different to get a better result, right? That's exactly what happened to me. I woke up one day, and I bawled my fucking eyes out. I put my fucking my head down into my fucking hands, and I was shaking, convulsing and shit like that, and I just fucking let it all out, man. It was crazy, right? it was crazy. And I was like, at that point, I was willing to do whatever it took to never feel like that again, because I didn't want that feeling. We're really in, when we're going into reselling, we're going into business, we're going into different ventures. We're not really looking. Yes, of course we need cash to survive, right? So of course we need some cash, but we're looking for a feeling. We're feeling beings, right? We're looking for a feeling. We want to. You'll see. Why do you think so many antidepressant fucking medicines do so fucking well in this industry? Because people want to feel good. They don't want to feel the depression. I think the depression in the bad times, if you feel that shit and get through it, builds you to be a better person. It builds you to be a happier person, right? Because we all go through that in life. I've never met one single person in my life that didn't go through a phase of depression or anxiety. We're fucking beings of feelings. We live in a world where everybody's got different viewpoints, different feelings. Nobody likes to go to work every single day. So of course, anxiety and depression, and we all work jobs that, but by the time we're done paying the bills, we're like, fuck, we can put up $100 and, or we can put up $50, or maybe you're lucky enough to put up $200, right? The majority of the people in the United States don't even have $1,000 saved in their fucking bank account. Did you hear that? $1,000. Let's not go that route, but we're feeling beings, right? So I want to build something. I want to build an eBay business to get a feeling like, almost like fucking told you don't got to work a 9 to 5 to make a full-time living. I'm just being honest. That's what that was my one of my main drivers the entire time. I took it from one sale to $100,000 in sales in a year, right? That was my main driver. Is like, I'm going to show you motherfuckers, and this is why I made a video not long ago. Don't be afraid to be competitive. I think the competitive edge has died in the United States. All this 15th place trophy shit has fucked my generation and the generation coming in, right? If I'm in 15th place on eBay, I don't deserve a goddamn fucking trophy, man. What the fuck? I clearly wasn't good enough, right? To be in the top 10. So that's what I'm trying to get at is, man, to figure out your why, you got to be honest with yourself. It's a feeling thing. You want to wake up and feel, I built something that provided for my family, and it makes me feel good. And if it don't make you feel good, then maybe you're building the wrong thing, right? I don't know. Maybe you're building the wrong thing. Like I said, I don't have a passion for women's fucking clothes. Sorry, guys, girls, I don't, right? I don't know. I just don't. I look at some of the stuff I list. I don't even know why. And I list some men's clothes where I don't know why men buy it, right? But because we all have different styles. But my passion has nothing to do with women's clothes. I chose women's clothes because it was lucrative. A lot of women's items are sold daily, and there is a lot of inventory in the thrift stores. I didn't choose. We started out with coffee mugs, but if you go into the thrift store where I'm at, the coffee mugs has one shelf in about maybe a 10 by 20 foot area of coffee mugs. The women's clothes has about 3,000 square feet, right? Or 5,000, maybe more, maybe 8,000. I don't know what it is. It's a lot. So I'm looking at the odds and I'm like, wow, it's going to be a lot easier to get inventory for women's clothes than it is coffee cups, right? And then coffee cups break and they you get them returns, but you also get, whatever. The bottom line is I make this content, right? Just to prove that if you're tired of your 9 to 5, you can do this on the side as you hold on to your 9 to 5 and make enough money eventually that will outpay your 9 to 5. You can do that. It might take you a year. It might take you 2. It might take you 3, right? And you might have to work 12-hour days, 18-hour days, 16-hour days, 15-hour days. I did that for an entire year to get us to where we're at now. I stayed at my company because, one, I liked my boss and I liked the people I work with. They're good people. And I didn't want to just leave them high and dry. The second eBay paid me better, and then it wasn't consistent, so I did not know if my sales were going to stay consistent. So I did that for at least 6 months. I made sure that eBay was bringing us in 2 times the amount that my 9 to 5 was paying me for at least 6 months consistently. Because there's flukes that happen on eBay. There's some weeks I wake up with $3,000 more in sales than the week before, right? Or $2,000, or then I wake up sometimes with $500 less than I made the fucking week before, or $1,000 less than I made the fucking week before. So I had to make sure it was consistent. All right, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Vic, thank you for, man, day one. Vic's been here since day one. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support. These videos are going up on YouTube now. If any of you guys want to go onto YouTube, I share these videos on YouTube, and I'm trying to grow that channel. It's not going that great, but I don't care. It's not going to stop me from keeping on going, right? Though I think the whole key to anything in life is, the whole key to everything in life is just take action. I wasted an entire year. Yet another reason why I like to make content. Don't do what I did. Don't study fucking reselling for 365 days before you sell before you list your first item. You're fucking yourself, right? You're fucking yourself. So the best thing, I wrote something down earlier. How did I word that? See if I can find it here, guys. See if I can find it. Oh, you will never win by not taking action, right? The only way to grow and learn is to take action. And that is, I think people are looking, I was talking about how much information there is on YouTube, and Google. That Google, and the fucker paused me. That's probably going to do that again. But anyways, there's so much information out there. I was saying this yesterday. It cripples people. And people would just take, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. Research entrepreneur. What is an entrepreneur? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, what industry do I want to be an entrepreneur in? You download that information, you read the shit, you start applying it every single day. Within a year or two, you're going to start getting some results. On eBay, within a couple fucking weeks, you're going to start getting some results, right? So it's that process, and you almost have to ignore all the noise and just focus on what you're doing every single day. And that is becoming so rare today. People can't focus, man. There's too much out there. You don't want to know my analogy on that? You probably don't. I'll be a conspiracy theorist and all this. All the noise is for a reason, man. Yeah, I guess your reason will probably be different than mine, but it's all to keep us stupid and ignorant. Overload us all with so much information that it cripples us, so we don't take action and become self-independent, right? People are like, I'm independent. Let me tell you something. If you're going to a 9 to 5 and you're working at a 9 to 5, this is me included, guys. I'm working for eBay. Anything can happen. I didn't build eBay. You didn't build eBay. At any given time, we could wake up and eBay don't exist anymore. It's not independent. We're relying on eBay. You work a 9 to 5 just because you're paying your bills. You are not dependent. You're not independent. Your company's paying your fucking bills. The time you're giving it, if that company went under, there goes independency. It's not, I'm independent. No, you're not. Look, independent is taking something yourself, like dog food chain I was just talking about a little bit ago, dog treats, starting it in your kitchen, building it, marketing it, branding it, and getting it out there, and pumping it out to the world, and making a profit. That is independent. Going to a 9 to 5, like I did all my life, and punching in and punching out, and bringing a paycheck home and paying my bills, that is not independent. That is relying on another source that you're getting wealthier, you're making them wealthier, and you're staying about at the same area. Very, very seldom do people go to a 9 to 5 and become millionaires. Very, very seldom. So you're going to punch in at any time. This company, it happens all the fucking time. It happens all the time. Companies go under. And then what? That means you're not independent. It's like we bend reality. I'm independent. I go to work every day. I bought my own car. What happens if your job ain't there tomorrow? Then you're not independent no more. It's not independency, right? And I'm not trying to be a dick to anybody. We got all these false realities pumped at us all the time. You're going to a 9 to 5 and you're paying your bills. That don't make you independent. You're codependent on the company you're working for. That's all it is. So we twist shit. And then we'll throw it in people's face on Facebook. I'm independent. I pay my bills. You're not fucking independent, man. You're codependent. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, period, with codependency. I'm codependent right now on eBay. What happens if we wake up tomorrow and the eBay platform says, I'm fucking selling the company. I'm done. And they sell it to somebody else, and somebody else says, all the resellers got to start from scratch. Sorry, guys. I'm doing something different. Right? So So we're not independent. We bench it, and with all the distractions that are out here, I think that's what crippled my journey throughout eBay. I got so sidetracked on what was going on about the spy balloons, what was going on with this and the derailing in Ohio, and what's this going, and what's that, and what's this. Then I look and I'm like, holy fucking hours went by and I've only listed 2 items. Right? Distraction's a bad motherfucker, man. Who's the guy that says it all the time? If you can zero out all the noise, he's a runner. He runs all the time. He used to spray for cockroaches. He was 300 pounds. Now he's got the pull-up record and the marathon records. Oh, come on, guys. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. He's wrote books. He's a beast, man. But anyways, he says it all the time. Like, to eliminate the noise. Distractions is, like, the distractions in people's validation of whether we're going to make it or not on eBay is what hinders 90% of people. It's what makes the majority of people that start up an eBay journey to fail. It's got nothing to do with you can't do the process. You can't grab something and list it and do that repetitively for the next 365 days of your life, right? People are like, that's too long. Well, where are you going to be at in 365 days if you don't start taking action? You're going to be in the same spot, but 1 year older. And I'm going to tell you, the older you get, the harder the shit gets, right? The less drive you get, the less energy you have. Hence the reason why we went back to the gym and I'm taking testosterone and more proteins and trying to eat different and drink more water and be healthier because I need the energy for this, right? It's crazy. All right, I love you guys all. Thanks for the rant, man. I know I went off on a tantrum and a rant. I enjoy to do that sometimes. People used to tell me when I first started making my content, you shouldn't do that rant shit. You shouldn't make your videos so long. But you know what? You shouldn't always listen to what other people think. Right? You shouldn't. Be you. Be you, do you, and be good at doing what you do. Right? The information I'll give of the day of eBay is just get so good at what you're doing that eBay can't deny you and nobody else can. And you'll fucking win. Get so good at doing what you're doing. Look, you're never going to like everything you got to do on eBay. I'm going to tell you that right now. I cannot stand oh shit, I forgot to put my laundry in the fucking dryer. No gym clothes. Oh well. But I don't like everything that eBay's got to, I don't. If I could just list and that's it, then I would love it. Right? Like, I don't like the prep work. I don't like the photos. I don't like dealing with customer service. I don't like driving the packages to the post office. All them things I don't like to do. I like to list because I know that's where the money's at, right? Everything else, I would just rather, like, hire out if I could. But, I don't know. Not there yet. All right, it's your boy, Flippinstoop. You guys have a rockin' rad day.